Now, the unthinkable has happened. Kabiyesi has made a final decision that made Oletik and Olori Calabash rush to the hospital to go and beg for forgiveness. Yes, my correct people. It don't dey shele, it don't dey happen. So he had some group of nurses from Equity Hospital, experts in what they do, came to the palace to announce to Kabiyesi and his wives that they are going to do a thorough DNA test on Olori Calabash and Olori um, Oletik, and that the thing that made them scared, that made them run into the hospital to go and apologize, to go and confess, is that the nurses they have this thing, police backup, they have the government backup on this journey, and they say that if they ever do that DNA test and find it that Adeshina and sister, that is the twins, and Olori Calabash son, if they are not from the palace, they already know, but they want to make it such a way that Olori Calabash and Oletik will confess with their mouth. So they came to the palace to announce to them that this is what they will be doing. So is either two of them leave the palace with these children, or the DNA test they are going to do will reveal, if it reveals that Kabiyesi is not the father of this child, these children, then they are going to lock them up and they are going to seize the child, and them will not see this child. They will stay in the prison forever and they will never set their eyes on these children anymore. So they will lose both. So the best thing for them is either that they pack their bags and leave the palace jeje with these children, or they will do that DNA test for them by fire by force, whether they like it or not. And this one now that is already having the government backup, the police backup, the army backup, every necessary body, agency, security agencies in the country, they have their backup. So if they eventually go for that, DNA test, my people, the thing is that they will not only lose their child, but they will lose their freedom, because they will be in Kirikiri, according to what we heard. And they say these nurses were not smiling. They are not your regular small nurses. These nurses are advanced, American-based standard. They are nurses. These are nurses who also read law. So they have 2 degrees. They have nursing degree and they have this thing, masters in law. So Kabiyesi specially organized them because Kabiyesi wants to have these people confess. It's as if Kabiyesi knows what will work for them. Kabiyesi planned it with these nurses. And true, that is what they will do. They didn't plan it in such a way that that even if that maybe they are just threatening. It's not a mere threat, according to what we heard. It is not a mere threat. Kabiyesi really means every word, and these nurses really mean every word. Imagine a hospital, a nurse, doctor that have degree in nursing and also have degree in law. My dear, the 2 sides is show. So what then happened? After they have made the announcement and they give them like 1 week, they gave them 1 week to do any of the options. Is that they leave this palace with their kids, leave Kabiyesi, sign the divorce paper. They will sign it. Kabiyesi want to get them to sign this divorce paper before they leave. Agreed. Or they will disgrace them publicly and they will still lose their freedom and their children will be taken away from them. That children they think they want to use and tie Kabiyesi down. That children they think they will use and take Kabiyesi's inheritance, Kabiyesi's property. That freedom they think they can use to still be in Kabiyesi's life, to be present, also always be present in Kabiyesi's life. That is the freedom they said they will take away from them. So you have seen now that they have no escape. This one, e really shook my correct people. E shook. Oh. Now, what did these women do? You think they don't have sense? You think they don't equally love freedom, and they want to grab everything at once. Every normal person would have just said, I love my freedom. Oh. Let me just carry this baby and go. I beg. But because their eyes are on Kabiyesi's wealth, what is that wealth that they cannot make? Do they even know what their children will become tomorrow? If their children will become billionaires, but they still want to tap. I believe, see, one thing is coming to my mind. If this information is true, my people, I don't know if you can relate to this, my thoughts. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion anyways. You're entitled to your own. I am entitled to my own. I'm only saying, these women just want to they want to use these children to take properties from Kabiyesi. And once they take these properties, they will not give it to these children. After all, it is not their biological, except Olori Calabash, which her own is her biological. But does she even really care? She cares only about the money. So they want to use these children to grab Kabiyesi's wealth, to partake in Kabiyesi's wealth. Then at the end of the day, they will use it and build themselves. Then leaving these children to find their way in the nearest future. So because that wealth is in, if it's people who love their children, who truly love these children, let me tell you the options they will pick. They will pick the options of leaving this palace, signing that divorce, just because their children need them and they need their children. They will live with that children. Then hustle and pray to God for their own blessing, so that their children would have to depend on Kabiyesi's wealth. Even though Kabiyesi has promised that even though they leave, he will still give them their thing at their adult age, when they grow, when they are old enough to differentiate between good and bad, when they are old enough to talk for themselves, to fight for themselves. Kabiyesi is going to give them what he wants to give them. Is that not kind enough of Kabiyesi? Kabiyesi is so kind. Kabiyesi is so kind. Which other man would have done this for a child that is not his own? Which other man would have done this for children who are not his own? And it's clearly, even the way these children came, unaware, they took him unaware, but yet he still stands because of these children, not because of any other person. He didn't do it because of Queen Naomi or because of whatever he will gain. He knows he might stand to get nothing. He might also stand to get something in the nearest future, because you never can tell what somebody will be in the future. You don't know. So you see, Kabiyesi is doing this for these children. So these women now, as a head, any normal person, like I said, would have chosen freedom, carry your children and run. But then, no, they still want to reply for them. They want to get this property by fire, by thunder. They rush to hospital, because these nurses are invited to the Equity Hospital, especially for this, because Kabiyesi wants to do something. They rushed to the hospital and started confessing, apologizing to the nurses, apologizing to them that no, it is not what they think. They made a huge lot of confession, that they believe it is what they say it is. But at this point, where do they want to go? Who do they want to live with? They said yes, they did it. They confessed according to what we heard. They confessed to the nurse. They are not, whatever they said is true. Okay, it's not for Kabiyesi, fine. But please, can we stay back in the palace? Can we? I told you these people don't want to leave. And don't be surprised that even that 2 years that they said they gave them to leave, they have not signed divorce papers. So you remember? Even though their marriage was not in court, it's just customary, but at least there is a way. Kabiyesi is not just an ordinary human being. Their customary, traditional marriages had some certificates, which can only be resolved in customary. But it's just that the difference between customary and court is that when you divorce from customary, I think you don't have to go with anything. You don't have to share anything with your husband or what. They will just dissolve it. I don't know if it is true, but I know that customary and normal courts for marriage is not same. You see, so they went to the hospital to be confessing. People were shocked hearing this from their mouths. Okay, fine, that whatever they did it because they want to keep relationship with KBAC. They don't ever want to lose KBAC. They want to make sure that they are entangled together with KBAC for life, that they love KBAC so much and it's paining them how KBAC is leaving them for Olori Naomi, and it does not even give a damn about them. They say confession choke for inside the hospital. Say everybody, for Equity Hospital, everybody open mouth they look. Because people there, we don't they hear kepu kepu since. They no believer. They fit talk say, na social media gossip, na this thing. After all, they must talk. This one and this one. Some people up till now have not believed this. And I don't blame them. Because I always tell you guys that every information you see on the social media, you just have to take it with a pinch of salt. You can't just come and say, it is 100% truth because I heard it from this blogger. It is 100% truth. No, it's just that in every rumor there is an atom of truth. So them begging the nurses now to forgive them, that should help the beg Kabi so that let them stay back. You see that they are not even planning. They want to use this begging. This they are begging is just because there is a very heavy option following them. That if they did not leave the palace with these children, and if eventually they find out that these children does not belong to Kabiyesi, that they are going to pay for it. They are going to go in there, and that's forever. And that child where you they try gather property for, say the child itself, you no go see am, you no go see yourself. So you've seen, is a very difficult thing, a very difficult option for them. And they now think the best option for them is to go and confess. Why didn't they confess since? Anybody that is truly repented, you will confess before any other thing. You don't even need to wait for them to tell you that you will confess. Do you need that? You don't need for anybody to tell you that you must confess, provided that it is coming from your heart. Then you will confess. You will confess according to the information where will they get. So you see, they said the nurses could not even listen to them. The nurses have said what they have said. The nurses told them they have said what they have said, and there is no two ways about it. You choose one, either you leave the palace with these children, or another one, you stay back. If you have been deceiving people since that, these are your children, thereby making Kabi a liar. The worst part of it is that you are now making it look as if it's Queen Naomi that is doing you, painted her black, blackmailing her, manipulating people to go against her. And after all this, you think you will just come and say, I am sorry. I am sorry. It is not what you think. You start calling devil where they were in day, say na in handwork. And you think they will just forgive you like that? Allow you to stay in the palace? While enjoying for what you scattered that another person has arranged. Yes, they scattered a lot of things which Queen Naomi is busy arranging them back and fixing things. They now think they can come and be forgiven. No, that is not true. Well, I don't know. Drop your comments if you think they should be forgiven. If you think the nurse should do as they said. Remember, please, to give this video a thumbs up, drop your comments, I'll be replying. And don't forget that all these are alleged and unverified information making waves on the social media and should not be regarded as facts. Thank you.